Alrighty, PG-13. This is G.I. Joe Super 7. Cobra! We finally got him in. The Super 7 Reaction Plus figures. And oh my god. Oh wow. They're making G.I. Joe O-rings. We actually get a G.I. Joe O-ring line. Can you believe that? Cobra! I am actually just overwhelmed because, you know, who would have thought we would get our, well, our O-ring figures again. Cobra! 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 Alright, we're going to have a look at these awesome figures. We have the Cobra Bats, the blonde Covergirl, the hooded Cobra Commander, and the Snake Eyes. Can't believe Super 7's making a hooded Cobra Commander. That just looks fantastic. Wow. And a cool Cobra Officer, blonde Covergirl. Ooh, just smoking. That is fantastic looking. So we're going to dive right into these figures. I can't believe we are getting O-ring figures again. Cobra! Alrighty, we're going to have a look at Covergirl here. Now the articulation is remnant of the 1982 to 84 line for the head swivel. No articulated head is in these. So her head does move side to side, but it is a little bit stiff, and well, it is it is a nice looking figure. Someone saw Chase a plain Jane. Actually, I gave one of these to my 4-year-old daughter. She did like it. I gave her a vintage Diorama to play with. She did not like the vintage Diorama. She said, she is evil. So, and then she asked for more G.I. Joe girls. Just to give you an idea, the green does kind of fit in with the vintage figures. Let's rock and roll! Let's do this! Cobra! Now we're going to take a vintage weapon and put it in her hand, since her hands do look a little smaller, and it fits a vintage... Oh! There goes the weapon. Lucky I've got a weapons tray here. We're just going to grab any weapon we find. Oh, we have the ones we got with our G.I. Joes from Hasbro, the 2-packs. That one seems to be a little stiffer. So she looks better with a heavy-duty machine gun. And yes, my 4-year-old daughter knew what the laser rifle was. So I gave her the figure with the laser rifle. Oh, she did not like Zorana's pink hair. But nonetheless. Anyways, back to the review here. So that is the blonde Covergirl. Just get a look at her. Not too bad. Got some little detail there. I don't know how well this camera is going to pick it up, but we definitely have some detail. I don't know how well this lighting will work out here. Now, oh yes, we have bats. We have an army of bats. That is fantastic. So as I was saying, the head sculpt is reminiscent of the 82 to 84. And you know, even in the line, like even in the 2000s, you know, a lot of Cobra soldiers and officers still had well, that type of head sculpt where they just move side to side. Now here's the Snake Eyes. I just gave him an extra beachhead weapon. But he comes with this oversized Uzi. I mean, that just doesn't look too good. And you know, I really don't want to stress my action figure's hands, so I kind of tend to put weapons in there with a smaller handle. Even though these are pliable, you don't know how pliable these hands are going to be. So here is the Snake Eyes. Now he doesn't really have the mouth indent like our 85 version, and we will have to do a comparison eventually, but we'll save that. Now I don't know why Super7 didn't detail this as much as they did with their reaction figure, and someone said he's missing a grenade. The plastic does feel a little bit cheaper, but you know, oh yes, one real bad thing, the Super7 O-ring that comes in the figure, size does matter. So well, maybe a lot of these O-rings will just snap off in the package later on, or break the figure. But it's definitely super small, super tiny, you know. Oh, just to give you an idea. So I've taken apart basically almost all my figures. I got about 20 for this order. And well, I am loving the bats. But again, like the oversized weapons, we'll try his sword and see. You know, it's just a little bit too big. Oh, this is kind of loose. So you can use vintage weapons in these figures. You know, you just might have to find a better one, or you might be able to use weapons from the 2-packs, since these hands seem to be a little more wider. They have a wider hand grip. But you know, not too bad. Now I guess they're still kind of new. They definitely need to critique the next wave. You know, get the motions moving better here. But this is the Bats figure. And it is sculpted very nicely. Both hands do come off. It does come with little accessories for the hands. We've got the flamethrower, the laser weapon, and the claw. You remember getting the claw when you were a kid? I do. The claw! So his accessories do fit in his backpack. All 3 of them go in there. And someone said you can even take off the hands and put them inside and put the backpack on. Now these backpacks unfortunately were made with a slight variation, so they don't fit in the vintage. I forget if they're too big or too small, but you know, it is what it is. And yes, we will do a comparisons with these figures as well as Delta 17 figures, but for now we're looking at the Super7 Reaction Plus figures. And yes, there is the Crimson Guard twins, Exmont and Zaymont, or however you pronounce it. I always screw them up. Tomax and Exmont, because his name forwards and backwards. So now I did watch a lot of people's videos on Super7. In fact, I watched everyone I could find, or that would show up. So the biggest complaint was that the O-ring is too small, and people wanted the ball joint neck articulation. But the coolest thing was there was a couple channels where people did the hooded Cobra Commander. Oh yes, we always save the Cobra Commander for last. So this is the Reaction Super7 Plus. Reaction Plus. Plus they gotta do more. So anyways, here's the Cobra Commander. I don't know if I want to take him out of the package or give him to my 4-year-old daughter to play with. But we will check out his head sculpt. I just, for now, temporarily put it on the body of the hooded Cobra Commander, since I had a spare crappy one. So the head sculpt does look super nice. You know what? Screw it. We're going to have to just open this up. Some people use X-Acto knives. I say, just tear it out, man. Now, you know, I did give it to my four-year-old daughter just to see how she would open up a package. She even bent the package in half. So, anyways, I'm just going to rip them out of here. I do love the artwork. I do think the card art is very nice on these figures. And we're just going to pull them out. We'll have to order another one if we want to keep them in the package. And now, you know, I love how the old school Joes were. You didn't have to like push them out of plastic. Because, you know, that's just crap. It's a waste of plastic. You don't really need that extra plastic. But anyways, so here is the Cobra Commander. You can see what the O-ring does because it's so tight. So that's why you need to change out your O-rings. But overall, this figure looks pretty decent. It's decent. Come on. I can't do my Bubbles voice right now. But here is the Cobra Commander. His iconic laser pistol. Now see how you have to force that in there? It's kind of tight. Oh look, we got a handgun here. I'll just put that in there. Cobra! So, you know, yes, it shouldn't be too oversized, but the handle is. So we check out the other hand. Still a little bit too much resistance there. Look at his blow dryer weapon. There we go. So, anyways, we're not going to put those weapons in his hand. We have a lot of other Cobra weapons in our weapons trays to put on him. And there he is. Now, I do love this version better. Oh yes. The hooded Cobra Commander. Thank you, Super7. The hooded Cobra Commander. And we'll just pull him out of the package. That's fantastic. Now, we will look at the card art and whatnot in the next video. But, again, hats off to those few channels that actually put the headed Cobra Commander in the body. It looks fantastic. And his O-ring is changed out, so he doesn't really do that as much. You can see. But there is a little bit of issue there, but it's not as bad as the Hasbro figures that came out with the Transformer crossovers. And, you know, the Cobra Officer debacle. And the 2-packs from Hasbro. But, you know, every line has its positives and negatives. And today, we're just excited that we're getting G.I.Joe O-rings again. We got a line, a G.I. Joe line of O-ring figures. Yes, it might not be as great as the vintage, but wow. Cobra! That is fantastic. Get your Super7 figures at Big Bad Toy Store or Super7, but the bats might be sold out. And I don't know if Toys R Us is going to be carrying these awesome figures, but we still got the Crimson Card Commanders coming. And again, you can make your own customs. So I have to find the body to see what body the Snickers will fit on. But anyways, we're out of time. Thanks for watching. Super7! Get yours today!